After getting home, Charlie laid her on their bed and withdrew the spell from Claire's body. A moment later, Claire woke up. "Charlie!" Claire's eyes fluttered open. When she saw his face, relief washed over her, and she immediately burst into tears. Charlie quickly comforted her. "It's okay, baby. Don't be afraid. I brought you home." "Home?" Claire looked around, recognizing their bedroom. She quickly asked, "Silas Bennett, he didn't hurt you, did he?" "No," Charlie said. "Silas and his wife are taken care of, and the entire Bennett Materials Group has been leveled. I guess it's true what they say. What goes around, comes around." Claire was shocked. "What? How? What happened?" Charlie smiled faintly. "I called a few friends to help get you out. Turns out the Bennett Materials Group, the office building, the whole factory, it was all shoddy construction. Right after we got out, one of the workshops exploded. The blast took down the whole factory. It's too bad you were asleep, otherwise you could have seen it fall like dominoes." Claire couldn't believe it. A perfectly good factory. A workshop exploded and the whole thing was leveled? "Yep," Charlie nodded. "It was a huge explosion. I guess it was karma." After saying that, he quietly sent a text to Isaac. "Get the media on this. Tell them the Bennett Materials Group collapsed in a chain reaction after a workshop exploded." Isaac replied almost instantly. "Don't worry, young master. It'll be on the news right away." A few minutes later, while Claire was still trying to piece together what had happened before she passed out, her phone suddenly buzzed with a bunch of news alerts. She glanced at the headlines and was stunned. The headlines were all about an accident at the Orris Hill Bennett Materials Group. The reports said the accident caused the collapse of an engineering workshop, which led to the entire plant coming down. Several people had died. The owner, Silas Bennett, and his wife were also seriously injured. Charlie said, "See, I wasn't lying, was I?" Only then did Claire believe it. "Huh!" she exclaimed. "He really was evil. I guess he got what he deserved." After a moment, she asked Charlie nervously, "When you got there, that monster didn't do anything to me, did he?" Charlie nodded and said, "Your clothes were untouched when I arrived. It was Silas's wife who rushed in and stopped him from trying anything." 2 lines of tears streamed down Claire's face. "Charlie, I'm so sorry." Charlie quickly said, "Hey, don't say that. What are you talking about? I don't blame you at all. It's on me. It's my job to protect you, and I let that creep get close enough to almost hurt you." Claire was so moved that she just hugged Charlie tightly without saying a word. In that moment, she realized just how deep Charlie's feelings for her were, and a profound sense of happiness washed over her. That afternoon, the news that the Bennett Materials Group had been razed to the ground sent shockwaves through the entire upper class of Orris Hill. And even though the official story was an accident, no one in those circles believed it for a second. Everyone immediately started speculating about which powerful figure was behind it. After all, almost no one in Orris Hill had that kind of power. Who could it be? Everyone's minds immediately raced, connecting the dots between recent mysterious events in Orris Hill. There was the mysterious, God-level rich man who became a sensation on the internet after showing up with more than a dozen luxury cars and spending over $10 million in cash to buy a diamond. There was the new chairman of the Enraged Group, who acquired the company and then threw $2 billion at building a 6-star hotel. There was the mysterious person who booked out the entire Sky Garden for a private wedding, something that had never been done before. And now, there was this powerful figure who had leveled the Bennett Materials Group in a single afternoon. All these clues pointed to one person. The only person who fit all these descriptions was the mysterious chairman of the Enraged Group. Besides him, who else had that kind of power? And just like that, the identity of the Enraged Group's chairman in Orris Hill became even more of a mystery. The person most upset about the Bennett Materials Group being destroyed was Mrs. Wilson. With the Wilson family's finances a little tight, She had been hoping Clare could convince the Bennett Materials Group to give them some materials on credit, which would have been a way to ease their financial pressure. Unexpectedly, the entire Bennett Materials Group was wiped out in a single afternoon. Now, Mrs. Wilson's biggest worry was money. Figuring out how to raise some capital had become her worst nightmare. Clare didn't tell her grandmother what had happened. After that whole ordeal, she secretly decided to stay out of other family business and just focus on her partnership with the Enraged group. From now on, even if her grandma asked, she wouldn't get involved. The next day, Clare felt much better, both mentally and physically, and was eager to get back to work. Charlie went out in the morning to do the grocery shopping. When he got home, he saw his father-in-law, Jacob, sitting on the sofa, looking sad and sighing. He frowned and asked, "Dad, why are you in such a bad mood? Who got to you this time? Did you get scammed on another antique deal?" Jacob took a sip of his coffee and said angrily, "Don't even mention antiques. Crap, I get angry just thinking about it." "What?" Charlie couldn't help but ask. "You really got scammed?" Jacob said. "No, it's because of the tickets for the auction at the collector's vault." Charlie asked, surprised, "What's the collector's vault?" "It's a club run by the Oros Hill Community Center," Jacob explained. "They hold these high-end auctions for collectibles and antiques. They sell all sorts of amazing things you can't find anywhere else. All the major families get a spot to attend." As Jacob spoke, a look of fascination crossed his face. But then he said in a frustrated voice, "The Wilson family only got one invitation letter, and your grandma actually gave it to Harold. That kid Harold has never touched an antique in his life and doesn't know the first thing about them. What's he going to do there? Just embarrass himself." Charlie knew his father-in-law was obsessed with antiques and that missing this opportunity must be killing him. So Charlie smiled and said, "Dad, if you really want to go, why don't you just buy an invitation from a scalper?" Jacob waved his hand. "The Smith family organizes the auction at the collector's vault. The Smith family is the most powerful family in Oros Hill. So many people want in, there's no way you can just buy a ticket." Charlie smiled. An auction organized by the Smith family? He remembered Warnia, the eldest daughter of the Smith family, had practically begged him to help identify some antiques. A small thing, like getting a couple of invitation letters, should be as simple as just asking her. With that in mind, Charlie said casually, "I know a few people from one of the big families here in Oros Hill. It shouldn't be too hard to get 2 invitation letters." Jacob didn't believe him for a second. He shook his head and said, "Forget it. What kind of important friends could you possibly have? They're probably just friends of friends. There's no way they could have connections to the Smith family." Charlie didn't bother arguing. He just went downstairs, pulled out his phone, and called Warnia. "Miss Smith," he said, "could you help me get 2 invitations for the Collector's Vault auction?" Warnia answered right away. "Mr. Charlie, are 2 enough? If not, I can get you a few more." Charlie replied, "2 is plenty. I'll be attending with my father-in-law." Jacob was the only one who was into that stuff. Clare and Elaine couldn't care less. Even if they went, it would just be a waste of time for them. Besides, after that incident at the vintage market, Charlie knew what Jacob was like. He'd have to go along to keep an eye on him. Otherwise, Jacob would get swept up in the excitement and get scammed out of his last dime. And anyway, he was also curious to see if there were any rare elixirs or treasures at the auction. Speaking of treasures, Charlie couldn't help but think of that engraved blessing stone. It had disappeared after he saved Elsa. He figured he must have lost it while rescuing her. He even went back and retraced his steps that day, but couldn't find it. Fortunately, he had already absorbed the stone's aura, otherwise he'd really be kicking himself. Since the collector's vault was known for auctioning off precious treasures, maybe he could find something else worthwhile there. When Clare got home from work, Jacob was still moping around. He was so down that he barely touched his dinner. Charlie knew he was sulking about the auction invitation. Just then, Warnia called. "Mr. Charlie, I'm so sorry. I was working this afternoon, but I'm downstairs at your place now. I can give you the invitation letter." Charlie quickly replied, "I'll come down and get it." Then he rushed out the door. Warnia was waiting downstairs in her car. When she saw Charlie come out, she got out and handed him 2 invitation letters. Charlie thanked her and went right back inside without making small talk. Back inside, Jacob was still fuming. Claire tried to reason with him. "Oh, Dad, don't be so mad. Grandma probably gave the invitation to Harold, hoping he could use it as a chance to meet some important people and do some networking." Jacob sighed. "Look, your grandma has always played favorites. She never cared much for me, but she always doted on your uncle and Harold. It's been like that forever, and it really gets to me." Claire nodded helplessly. She knew her grandma was biased. Her grandma thought her father was a nobody with no real talent. Then, she figured since Claire was a girl, she couldn't take over the family business, so she always spoiled Harold a little more. And after she married Charlie, her grandmother basically gave up on her family completely. Just then, Charlie walked over and handed 2 golden invitation letters to Jacob. "Dad," he said, "I got those invitations you wanted." "What?" Jacob shot up from his seat as if he'd been launched by a spring. He snatched the invitation from Charlie's hand, tore it open, and looked inside. He was so excited that he was speechless. Claire, standing next to him, was just as surprised. She took the invitation from her father's hand and looked at it. It was really an invitation from the collector's vault. "This is great! Charlie, you really are my good son-in-law." Jacob's face was flushed with excitement, too thrilled to say another word. He reached out and clapped Charlie on the shoulder. "My daughter really married the right guy." "Oh, please, it's just an invitation letter. You're so happy you can't even think straight," Elaine grumbled. Jacob clutched the invitation tightly and shot back at Elaine. "What do you know? This is an invitation from the collector's vault." Then he smiled at Charlie and said, "Sit down, let's eat." He turned to Claire. "Go get that bottle of vintage wine from my room. I'm having a couple of drinks with my son-in-law tonight." Elaine glared at Charlie, seeing how happy Jacob was, but she kept her mouth shut. Claire was happy too, but she was also a little suspicious. After getting the wine, she sat down next to Charlie and nudged him with her elbow. "Where did you get this invitation?" she asked. She had asked around at work that afternoon, trying to get an invitation for her dad, but she found out that the invitations to the collector's vault were limited to 1 per family. How did Charlie manage to get one? Charlie smiled and said, "I just asked a friend. He happened to have 2 invitations, but he didn't feel like going, so he gave them to me." "Really? What a coincidence," Claire said, not entirely convinced. "Why haven't I ever heard you mention a friend from such a well-off family? What's his name?" Charlie said casually, "His name is Christian Knox. I helped him out at the vintage market a while back. Dad knows him." Jacob nodded eagerly. "It's true! That Christian guy even gave Charlie an emerald bracelet, said it was worth 5 or 6 million.
To know more, listen to the audio series Heir in Hiding, only on the Pocket FM app.